Hey, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Scorpio full moon happening on April 26, 2021 at 11:32 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. Now, as we take a look at this chart, we're going to see there is a significant shift in energy here as we close out April. So let's start by looking at the moon, which is the focal point of every full moon. The moon in Scorpio at 7 degrees of Scorpio, 6 minutes, is directly opposing the sun in Taurus. That is also at 7 degrees and 6 minutes. Every full moon is an opposition. It is where the energies have the opportunity to balance themselves between the earthly energies of Taurus with the water energies of Scorpio. Now, in your chart, you're identifying 7 degrees of Scorpio, as this is where an area of your life is being illuminated, and what it's shining its focus on is the Scorpio themes of transformation, intuition, energy healing. What are you seeing in yourself that was perhaps unconscious or you were unaware of? What is coming up to your awareness, even in your emotional needs, your sense of what is happening within you? Because the Scorpio energy is about what's under the surface, whereas the Taurus energy is about what's above the surface, what we see, what we experience, what our 5 senses tap into. So we're understanding that the Taurus energy is strong. I'll get into that in a moment. But the Scorpio energy is asking you how you feel right now. What's really happening within you that you're ready to shine a light on and fully own. There is an ownership here with Scorpio where it's an ownership of your power, your energy, your intuition, what you're feeling, what you're sensing, maybe in ways that you can't quite put words to at times, but you feel it strongly. And the Scorpio energy, especially notice how it's in the first decan of Scorpio, which is between 0 to 9 degrees. This is the beginning of the energy. Something is coming up that you're going to be working through and understanding in a deeper way. Scorpio is also where we connect with energies that can help us heal. Now, Scorpio is connected with energies that we take on from other people. And this can be traumatic experiences, wounds, abuse, emotional energy. This is where you can be feeling a lot that is not yours. And part of that Scorpio energy is working through it. And that's why Scorpio is also connected with therapy, counseling, the healing arts, mental health. Whatever you have energetically been feeling or experiencing that you're ready to cleanse, purify, and transform, you could have some strong messages around that right now. Now, you'll notice that that moon is opposing a lineup of planets here in Taurus. The sun is conjunct Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus. And we also have Mercury at 15 degrees of Taurus. Venus at 15 degrees, Mercury at 16 degrees, and they're conjunct. Now, all these planets are together in an area of your chart, bringing your attention to what is happening in your real world. The Taurus energy is about stability, reliability, what we can count on. This is the builder of the zodiac. We initiated something in Aries season, now we build it and we understand what is required of us. Taurus energy can bring about the finances and monetary means of something. What does it cost? What do I have to pay? What's the investment? What is this going to look like? And am I committed to it? Taurus energy will see things through. So this strong energy here probably is where you've been focusing. And with this full moon, you're now tapping into more of your truth, more of what's happening within you that is very important to acknowledge and own. We also have this strong interaction of Uranus here. And Uranus is still conjunct the Sun. 3 days after this full moon, the Sun will be exactly conjunct Uranus. So something comes up to our awareness during the full moon. Then 3 days later, there's an electrical spark, an awakening, a liberation, a freedom. This can also be chaos. Something is unsettled. A surprise is also what comes through whenever the Sun is conjunct Uranus, which happens once a year. Once a year. So we're building up to a higher awareness around what you really want, which is Taurus. But in order to get what you want, you have to let go. There's something you have to let go of that's dying or dead. It's not energetically in resonance. This could be something that brings about a turning point in your life, a turning point revelation, something that you can't ignore or can't deny. I feel like this energy is active a few days before and especially a few days after the full moon. After the full moon is exact at 7 degrees, the moon moves ahead, and then the moon will get to 10 degrees of Taurus and oppose this Uranus, which is another startling revelation, something outside of you that develops or is revealed. So all of this is it's destabilizing, it's surprising. The energy of Mercury and Venus in Taurus is that this is where our hearts and our minds are. We're looking for something that's certain. I feel like there's a lot of potential uncertainty here. And then we have another big player on the scene, which is how all of these planets in Taurus and the moon are squaring this Saturn at 12 degrees Aquarius 57 minutes. The square is a giant pause. It actually can feel like, what do I do? Where am I going? The gift of Saturn is about timing. And when we have so many planets squaring Saturn, we have the moon squaring Saturn. I stopped the video to draw the lines for you because you can see how this is creating a T-square. And with so many planets squaring Saturn, the planet of timing, it's not time, or it could feel hard to make a change, but you're aware of the change. And that's the strong Uranus energy that destabilizes. It shakes up the ground. It shakes up what has been comfortable. And then the square to Saturn says, sit with it. Just sit in the garden with all of the mulch and dirt dug up and feel. Trust what you feel. And it just has this energy of pause, wait. There's a lot of wisdom that we can find in the waiting, in the uncertainty. And the wisdom is to go down, underneath, within, dig deeper. What are the messages here? What is coming through that you're feeling and sensing? Because it's something in your intuition that's getting louder. Maybe you've been distracted from it, working away, focused on things in the real world. because Taurus is about our physical world, our physical experience, the material world. And this square to Saturn is the energy of, it's like this is a knowingness you can't deny. Something about this Saturn in Aquarius is bringing our attention to what we know about ourselves that we can no longer ignore or deny, because Aquarius is the higher mind, the higher knowingness. And Saturn is the reality check about who you are and what you're focusing on and what you're concentrating on and where you're directing your energy every day. So this could be some type of reality check. You can't deny who you are, what you feel, what you've learned. And then there could be this sense of, what do I do with it in the real world? What do I do about it? The other thing interesting in the chart is that we have two rulers of Scorpio. So Scorpio is typically associated with Pluto, which you can see is at 26 degrees, Capricorn, 48 minutes, stationary. That's what that S means, is stationary, as Pluto is stationing retrograde the next day, but the energy is being felt right here. And when Pluto is stationing retrograde, it is again the turning of the energy internal, the internal processing, the internal reflection going within. And then we also have the other ruler of Scorpio, which is Mars, that is now in Cancer, which is a sign of his detriment. This is not a strong Mars. He is not as clear or forceful when he's in Cancer. He moves to the side. He stays on the outskirts. He can be indecisive until the feeling comes through and he's motivated to act and go for it. So this is a Mars that is sidelined, that is figuring out some things. And I feel like this Mars in Cancer takes us to the past, which is also Cancer energy of your family, how you grew up, your mother, how your emotional needs were met or not met. What about yourself you're uncomfortable with at an unconscious level, unconsciously? This Mars is beginning his journey through Cancer, figuring some things out. And I feel like it really affects the overall energy of this chart. This chart has a lot of feminine energy, which is the earth signs and the water signs. This chart has a lot of internal energy. It has stagnation. It has a pause to it. And one way to work with that is that the pause is in going inward and really assessing life direction, life priorities, because that's what these planets squaring Saturn are bringing to a standstill. And you know, this energy of the square to Saturn lasts into the beginning of May, as the sun will be squaring Saturn around the beginning of May. So you could use this as a time to reflect, to take inventory, take stock, really get clear about your value systems now, what matters to you, what's essential. This could also be A time when you're really just figuring out next steps. There's not a lot of action. There's a slowdown. Again, going inside, listening, reflecting, getting quiet. And then when the energy moves forward throughout May, we have big changes in May. In May, we're going to see Jupiter go into Pisces, and we're going to have our first eclipse the end of May. First eclipse of the year. So I realize it'd be easy to say calm before the storm. I don't know if there's going to be a storm, but there's going to be an opportunity to settle your energy, listen, integrate, recalibrate, trust. You can't force something here, though. You can't force it. That's where the frustration is going to happen, is if you're pressing against this timing, or you're pressing against this wall. When we go into Gemini season, lots more movement, conversation, talk, travel, very bubbly, very active. This is meditative. This is a meditative Scorpio full moon. It's actually called the Buddha full moon, as it's associated with the Buddha's life transformation, birth, enlightenment, and death. So it could be a time when you check in with yourself on your own journey, where you're at, taking stock, really looking at the practical reality of your life. Where do you want to go next? What matters to you? What do you want to build? What is maybe a choice that you're ready to move towards? Even if it's just not quite time yet. I feel like there's a lot that can come from this cycle. It can be very nourishing, replenishing. You could even feel your body slowing down, your nervous system calming down. There can be a lot of healing here. So, meditative, healing, calming, settling. Returning to your life direction and what matters to you now, especially as we move through this Taurus season energy. And then by the time we get to the Taurus new moon in May, more clarity. More clarity arriving because of this slowdown. So it can be good to work with this energy intentionally, to make the most of it, to plan accordingly. Just be aware that there's frustrations here with this Saturn. And that could show up as the authority figures, the people you answer to, a parent, a mentor, a teacher, manager. It's not a good time for making requests or asking for something. It has that hard stop. And notice how this is all in the fixed signs. Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, the fixed signs that don't budge, that don't compromise. I wouldn't make requests at the end of April. Or if you do, just be aware that they might have to be worked out. It might not be a quick yes or an easy yes. There's something here again that's a stop sign. So, quite the interesting chart. But I hope it helps you navigate this last week of April and how the energies are changing, especially from the very dynamic energies we had during Aquarius season and during Aries season. There is a slowdown here. I hope you're able to make the most of it, adjust your expectations accordingly, and know that there is value in every phase. There's good things that come from every cycle and from every energy that we move through. So whatever you can do to enjoy maybe some downtime or the slowdown could be very worthwhile. And it can also prepare you then for the new starts that will happen during that Taurus new moon in May. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope this has given you some good information, good insights to work with. And thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, comments, and sharing. I appreciate you sharing this on other social media platforms and that it can help and support more people. I'll see you back here soon for another lunar video. And of course, I'm back every Monday and Wednesday with podcast episodes. And be sure and check out my playlists here on YouTube. I have a ton of information for you to help you learn more about your astrology chart, as well as all the energies that we may be experiencing at any time in our lives. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back here soon.